things, because we all know that once your foreskin is cut off, you can't get it put back on. They wasn't saving the dead skin. So we know that can't be talking about physical circumcision.
All right, I'm going to pause right here just for a brief second. Now, although I don't hold to the Apocrypha, they do. The Hebrew Israelites, they hold to that book. In 1 Maccabees chapter 1, verses 12 through 16, it tells you that the Israelites were making for themselves foreskin and departing from the Holy Covenant. So this is something that they were doing. However, at the time of this dialogue, which was a couple hours before I was able to find that verse, I answered the question. They asked, how do one become circumcised? How do one become uncircumcised after you have been circumcised? I answered them and said, hey, look, I don't know how that happens. I don't know how it happens. And so they disputed me on that, saying that because I didn't know how one could do that, that my understanding of the verse was wrong. However, you can use context clues to get the understanding of the verse and to know that what they're teaching is a false understanding. However, again, 1 Maccabees chapter 1, verses 12 through 16, it tells you that the Israelite men made foreskin for themselves and departed from the Holy Covenant. And so now we're going to pick back up and notice what this man is about to say about Titus.
Wow. We know it can't be talking about, because Paul, who was that? Who was that didn't want to get circumcised?
Titus.
Titus, he was like, hey, you got to get circumcised. He was like, I don't want to get circumcised. And he departed and he left the ministry because he didn't want to do that. So it's like,
what? Titus left the ministry because he didn't want to be circumcised? Wow. Okay, that's a new one.
Well, why would Paul be telling him to get circumcised if he's telling them right here not to get circumcised? That lets you know you don't understand what the scripture's talking about. And I'm gonna say this real quick.
Paul said in Galatians chapter 2.
A lot of times Christians come on here and they don't understand the full scriptures that they talk. They don't understand the context. That's why they'll hit you with one scripture.
You just lied though.
And
That's crazy.
And just let it go right there, right? And what happens is when they come here, they get educated, and then they'll take that. Hold on, man. Just wait for a second.
But you lied.
Goodness, man. All right. And so you just said you don't understand. So just chill for a second.
But you just lied also. So how
I lied about what? What did I lie about?
That Titus departed from the faith because he did not want to get circumcised. That is not what Galatians chapter 2 says. Galatians chapter 2 said Titus was not required to be circumcised. What are you talking about? So you're in his...
Let's read the scripture. Read the scripture.
Galatians chapter 2, you can start at verse 1, maybe verse 1 to verse 3.
Galatians chapter 2 and verse 1. Then 14 years after I went up again to Jerusalem with Barnabas, and took Titus with me also, and I went up by revelation, and communicated with them that gospel which I preach among the Gentiles, but privately to them which were of reputation, lest by any means I should run or had run in vain. But neither Titus, who was with me, being a Greek, was compelled to be circumcised.
Wait, did you just say he was compelled or was not? Because the scripture said he was not.
Yeah, he wasn't compelled to be circumcised.
Exactly. So how are you sitting up here talking about he departed from the faith? Because
he did depart from the faith.
Because he was forced to be circumcised.
Go to 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 10.
That's a lie.
Go to 2 Timothy 4, verse 10.
2 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 10. For Demas hath forsaken me, having loved this present world, and is departed unto Thessalonica. Crescens to Galatia, Titus unto Dalmatia.
That he left.
Emotional damage.
That is a long silence right there.
Where in that text does it say he departed from the faith because of circumcision?
He didn't want to get circumcised.
That is not what the text says. You know what? That's a cut. I'm gonna go ahead and move myself down. Y'all.
I know you're gonna move yourself down.
Yeah. You got cut.
Hey, look, it's cute when
The cross
Christians use
I'm done.
use our lingo. They be like, you got.
All right, y'all. As y'all can see, these guys were in here lying. They were twisting the scripture. This guy said that Titus departed from the faith because he did not want to be circumcised. That is not what the scriptures say. These guys are false teachers, and they will twist the scriptures at any cost to try to win an argument because they don't want to be exposed for their false teaching.